Hey there, Wranglers. It's back for another roundup, or it's back. We're back for another roundup. Today, we're going to talk about the Man from Taured. No, not the apparel shop, but an interesting mystery that we're going to dive into here. And I wanted to jump right in like I normally do. I'm your buddy, Neon Wrangler, and here's the story of the Man from Taured. And let me get my notes here and see what we've got. So anyway, uh, in the 50s in Japan. Some people say 1954, some say 1955. But July of 1954 in Haneda Airport, I guess that's how you'd pronounce it, a man shows up and he comes off the plane and he goes to have his passport checked, and it says that he is from a place called Torrid. Now, Torrid, it's spelled Taurd, and no one's ever heard of Tard. He's got his passport stamped all over the place and whatnot. But nobody's ever heard of Tard. And he says that's impossible. I've been to Japan a million times on business, and I was in Tokyo last year, and he seems as baffled as the people taking the passport do. So what they do, this guy automatically raises suspicion. This is post-World War II Japan. They think he might be a spy. They think he might be something strange. Who knows what they think? But anyway, they put him in security. Okay, they take him. They put him in a hotel room that has no balcony, no way out. Close the door. Put two guards by the door, and they send for the police or the authorities to come talk to him. Well, when they go in to talk to him, he's gone. He's vanished. That they don't know what happened to him. Speculation is, now today we speculate that who knows what happened. Was he from a parallel universe where Torrid existed and all of that kind of thing? They'd even asked him at one point to find Torrid on the map, and he looked and he couldn't find it. He said it was between France and Spain, and he looked around there and there was no Torrid on the map, and he was as baffled as they were. And so this is the story. Did he dimension slip somehow into our dimension where there is a 1,000-year-old country called Taured. He claimed it was 1,000 years old. That's the story. That's the story you're going to hear. Now, like what I like to do on my show is like to give both sides to this. Now, I did some research. I did a lot of research actually reading about this, and most likely what happened. Let me tell you what's popped up. Now, I'll put up the prevailing debunking theory here, and then we'll discuss some other things. But he was arrested and prosecuted. He was prosecuted for. He didn't disappear. Okay, first of all, they went in there and he didn't disappear. He was arrested and prosecuted for using counterfeit checks and documentation. He was put on trial, and it sounds like he ended up serving a year in jail in Japan. During his trial, actually, he had attempted suicide at one point. Went through the trial, went through his jail term. Since he was a man with no country, they didn't allow him to leave Japan, evidently. And he possibly could have, and sometimes they thought maybe he was a spy too, a CIA, FBI, or something like that. And I was just reading this, like, well, it sounds like, of course, that's what they're going to say. But uh, there was actually a mention in the UK, United Kingdom, in the Parliament about this guy, and one of the members of Parliament, MPs, as the Brits like to call them, had actually brought this up as a reason that passports were unreliable and we needed to do something different than the passport system. So that is the debunked theory, and you'll see it on other places like Snopes and some other places. But Snopes has lost a lot of credibility lately, and so I don't know. This take it for what it's worth. Now, am I saying that this guy dimension slipped or not? I don't. Okay, let me tell you where I sit before I tell you where I stand. I don't believe in parallel universes. I never have. I know that sometimes physics is not. Sometimes physics claims they're there. In some cases, I don't think I've read or seen proof of parallel universes at all, and I just never believe that theory or that they exist. I just don't. I could be completely wrong, and you guys could throw science at me and prove that, and I'd love to learn. Okay, and learn what you know if you actually do believe and there's proof of this. So anyway, I don't believe there's parallel universes or anything like that. Um, Other theories are that the guy was a time traveler and he got zipped off. He beamed in and beamed out. There's other theories that other theories. Some people think the whole thing is just made up. It's just a made up story, and that the this is just something that kind of got somebody maybe got drunk at a party one night and was telling this, and it spread. It was a good enough yarn to spread. Well, the guy's name, was evidently the man involved here. He actually does have a name. Was John Allen Zegras. And another part of this is that you'll read in some of the debunking things is not. One of them I read, he said Taured was between France and Spain. Another one, he said Taured was somewhere in Africa somewhere, and he worked for one of the African leaders or something along those lines. The man was Caucasian, according to most accounts of this story. But I don't know. Okay, now what do you think? What? Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I think. I think it's largely a made up story. I think it's kind of along the lines of the first thing that we read. The guy was a con man, okay, and he had the fake passport, and he got busted, and he had maybe had a lot more on the line than we know. If he wasn't allowed to leave Japan, I don't know where he is or not today. The problem with this theory, that predominant theory, is there's so little documentation on it. If this thing became as big as it was, we might, have easily find out where the guy's living or find more information about him as the years go along. But the story's kind of super self-contained, and there's no extra information on this. We don't know the name of the police detectives that I haven't found them. I haven't found any of that. The name of the police detectives that interviewed him or anything like that. I don't know which. I mean, I tried to find the name of the Parliament guy that the UK MP that did this. I'm just not finding a lot of corresponding documentation to this to make that theory legit. So that would, but it still would be my first choice. My second choice would be the whole thing's made up. My third choice would be maybe he did time travel or dimension slip or something like that. If that did happen, okay, which of course it would be covered up. Of course it would be explained away. You're not gonna, there's cases where things like this aren't explained away, but hey, this is post-war Japan. They would have motivation to explain this, to do this, to explain this away. But anyway, this is the story of the Man from Taured, and that's the story. These are the questions, and I want to know what you hear. And thanks for listening. And hopefully this I'm getting some useful critiques on the videos, so go ahead and keep them coming, and I will talk to you in the next one. Take care, and we'll see you at the next roundup.